Right then, a lot of awesome things happened within this episode. From Goha Yuuga having 60 cards in his deck, to Luke's sick combination on his final turn. Plus, a lot more things to discuss. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today let's talk about episode 79 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime series. An awesome episode that gave us Luke versus Goha Yuuga. But also a rather sad episode, as it ends on a very sad and dark note. With characters like Roman, Gakuto, Nail, Asana, and maybe possibly Roa losing their memories. And that sad music that was playing when we viewed Goha Tower at the end was very sad, and it helps make this ending even more dramatic and impactful. So then let's start off by talking about the character of Roa. Looking at how everyone I just mentioned stood up and spoke a line of dialogue, stating some form of confusion as to why they were on top of Goha Tower. Except Roa, which I thought was rather odd because we never heard anything from him. Plus he's a character that likes to talk and likes to make out that he's the centre of attention. Another weird thing from Roa's character relating to this ending was also the fact his eyes were not shown. It was darkened over. Now then, I thought of two possible reasons as to why this might be the case. Number one, upon losing his memories and reverting back to his normal self, which we all saw in the first arc of the series, Roa has basically lost all of that character development, and now he's not saying anything because he doesn't feel like it warrants his attention or his time of day. He's become arrogant. Number two, maybe the reason for this weird presentation of Roa is because he's faking his memory being wiped. He's pretending in order to get closer to Goha Yuuga and Nanaho's ninjas. Why? Well, maybe he wants revenge. Maybe he thinks that even if Luke were to win, then it's not going to change anything. Because Goha Yuuga is still going to be a chaotic and destructive little brat. So he thinks, hold on a minute, I need to get close to Goha Yuuga or someone near him in order for me to get my revenge because he hurt Yuuga, and to take him down once and for all and to teach him a lesson. We don't actually know if Roa knows about the bet or the deal that was placed because it was mentioned before they arrived. However, Luke seems to know by the end, so I would imagine Roa does as well. As a side note, I thought it was amazing and great to see how Mimi rushed to Roman's side instead of Roa's. This shows Mimi's motherly side to her character, not her fangirl persona, which I quite liked. So then, let's move along to Goha Yuuga, as this character displayed a lot of different yet enjoyable personality traits within the episode itself. I love that he thought of Luke's draw being the exact card that he needed, as well as the card he just put back in his deck and shuffled. I love the fact he thought it was nonsense, because I too was thinking the exact same thing when watching this unfold. The reason being is it was reeking of plot armor. Nevertheless though, it was still an awesome final turn and combination. With that being said, Goha Yuuga's real goal though was not the all format deleting road that Yuuga had created. As he states, Yuuga would never use such a device, which is partly true. Yuuga definitely wouldn't want to get rid of rush doors or any of his roads that he created because he holds an attachment to each and every one of them. This statement from Goha Yuuga though absolutely was amazing because it shows just how much he knows older Yuuga's personality. Instead, Goha Yuuga wanted Luke, as something deep within him was screaming danger whenever he thought of Luke and his insane dueling skills. This I loves, as it makes total sense. Why wouldn't you, as the villain trying to create destruction, want to take down the best duelist within the city? Now, a part of me thinks that Goha Yuuga wants Luke out of the picture for a different reason other than dueling. Could it be the real reason as to why Goha Yuga slightly fears Luke be related to Swirly? What if the voice or instinct screaming out within Goha Yuga is Swirly calling for Luke's help? But if it really is this instinct that is within Goha Yuga screaming from the depths of him, what about the idea of this instinct knowing that the person with the best chance of sealing Goha Yuga is Luke, or the best person that could release Swirly's persona, again, is Luke? Either way, Luke is a danger to Goha Yuga's life, so it makes sense for them to go after him. Now then, a 60 card deck. What madness was that? However, it was awesome to see, because Goha Yuga is possibly the first person to have that many cards in his deck within a Yu-Gi-Oh series. The explanation to a deck's card limit and the pros and cons of having more or less cards I thought was a great piece of filler information. Also, the main highlight of this reveal was the showcasing of Goha Yuga's strategy, in how he actually benefits from this high number of cards in his deck, using his secondary ace monster, known as Epicys Gileon, is up on screen. An awesome looking monster that gains attack points based on the number of cards in your graveyard, and is a continuous effect. This card just works amazingly with Goha Yuga's deck, as Gunleon and all those trap cards that he uses dumps a massive amount of cards from your deck into the graveyard, giving you a valid reason for having 60 cards in your deck and making your ace monster that much stronger. Now then, although Goha Yuga lost this early on, it doesn't really harm his character, as he manages to wipe out Yuga's friends' memories in the process. He gained valuable experience in dueling Luke. Also, he's still an evil ass. One thing I did find slightly upsetting with Goha Yuga's character though, was him throwing a temper tantrum when he lost, claiming that the promise is invalid because it was made between himself and older Yuga. Now, my only issue with that statement from him though was that it does kind of contradict his acceptance of Luke taking over the duel. You would think that if he was okay with Luke overtaking the duel, but not okay with the promise being upheld, he would say, right, you can duel me, but I'm not keeping my promise if you win. Again, it's not a massive issue for me, but it was just something I wanted to talk about. Moving along, let's talk about Luke, as this episode was a perfect showcasing of his dueling skills, by not only winning with a deck that's not even his, but also he understood and executed Yuga's plan excellently. The episode also showed off his personality and mystery in a very positive light, being how Luke thought throughout this episode about Yuga and Swirly, and he wanted to help both of them, so it shows his kindness and his positivity. Also, he never gave up even in the overwhelming odds and despair that was set up against him. One thing that I thought wasn't the right thing for Luke to do in this episode, however, was lie to Yuga. When Yuga asked about Roman and the others, yes, saying they went home is partly true. And I know Luke's intentions were good by not wanting to upset Yuga or cause him any more mental stress. But lying to a friend could only come back and bite you in the behind later on. We had that whole ordeal of friendship and how shallow it can be when we had Nanaho disguising herself as Roman. So, yeah, it might be a little bit of an issue later on. With that being said though, I absolutely adored the display of friendship between Luke and Yuga. Those little moments of Luke looking over to Yuga to check on him showed that he's very caring. And the image of Luke and Yuga side by side when the fusion happened was awesome, because this was like a Yuga's deck fused with Luke's dueling skills, so it just made perfect sense. Now, the most interesting segment with Luke, however, was that Monster Reborn ritual. We see how the memories get erased from a specific person, and it's horrifying. You have to watch as your memories rewind, fading into nothingness one by one, until there's nothing left to lose. Now, the question is, why didn't the ritual work on Luke? Why didn't he lose his memories? Could it have something to do with him not losing the duel? This is a possibility, however, Roman, Gakuto and the others weren't dueling, yet they were affected, so this idea isn't all that solid. Now then, I was thinking maybe there was some doubt from the user of the ritual. Lying depths in the mind of Goha Yuga could surely have saved Luke by influencing Goha Yuga's desire to ritual Luke's memories, making the ritual itself invalid for Luke specifically. Again, there's no evidence to support this idea, but I don't think we can rule it out just yet. Now, another reason could be there's something on or inside Luke that took the ritual in his place. By this, I'm referring to Phantom Luke, as again, we have a reference to the devil within Luke in this very episode. The on Luke part of this idea is obviously referring to the watch that stops electronics, the polyuse effect. The only evidence against the watch being involved, however, though, is of course the fact that Kaizo is still working. Basically making it so the watch, didn't go off or activate. A lot of people would have loved it if Luke lost in this duel, allowing us to get a bit more development for Luke's character after his first loss in the series. I'll admit, I was one of them. However, with the announcement of Yu-Gi-Oh! 8 starting in April, I don't think there's any time for that. So I think Luke winning here makes sense. Plus, we have to talk about Luke's first maximum summoning, because this was super wholesome. And I loved how Roman and Gakuto were like, yeah, we know what you just drew, before he even summoned it. That was awesome. Overall, this was a brilliant episode, and I can't wait to see what the big secret behind the Goha siblings really is. There's an image of all the siblings standing in space, which wildly shows off the height difference between the siblings. Why is Goha Yuga so tiny? Now, there's a possibility we might get to see where Goha Yuga's passion for dueling first stemmed from. Because we see an image that shows a random bunch of duelists dueling in an inside arena. Now, this also reminded me of a scene that we saw, and I can't remember what episode it was in, but there was a shot of Luke master dueling a bunch of random nobodies as part of his training. So, are we going to get some similarities between Luke and Goha Yuga when we look at Goha Yuga's past? Now then, the facial expressions and the animation from this episode was absolutely stunning and superb. Plus, it helped elevate each character that got showcased within the episode. And the music was phenomenal. Let me know all of your thoughts on this episode in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll be seeing you next time. Have a great day. Alligator, matane. Goodbye.